the older gays are telling me that I'm crazy for being monogamous and just give it 10 years. And then like the ones that are in open relationships are like, you're insulting us. Like, like this is like they get offended when I say that I don't want to have one. And it's like, well, why? I'm not saying anything disparaging against yours. I'm just saying
Yeah.
for me personally, like you like regular Coke and I could tell, and I like diet.
Yeah.
The biggest difference between gay relationships and straight relationships is how common an open relationship is. And it's interesting because either way, the concept of an open relationship is pretty controversial. But if you're in a gay relationship, it's a lot more common. Like I was reading that about 50% of gay relationships are open in comparison to like 4 to 5% of straight relationships, like a huge difference. So it begs the question, what's better? Like, is an open relationship the way to go? And how can you tell? And obviously, if you're boring, you're gonna say like, oh, everyone's different. Like it depends on the specific needs of the relationship. But something I find interesting about it is I was reading on Reddit because, I tend to get sucked into Reddit rabbit holes, and I came across this thread that was like, straight men, what do you envy about gay men? And the overwhelming most common answer was about how easy it is to get laid. Like straight men were like, if I was gay, I would be hooking up with people nonstop. And that's a really clear parallel to how much more common it is to have an open relationship if you're gay, because there's so much more opportunity for sexual exploration. But here's the thing, if you look at it from a more cynical perspective, a lot of people describe it as like honest cheating or like cheating with rules. But then that definition is only true if you like conform to heterosexual relationship norms, which like a lot of gay people don't or don't want to. There's honestly so much to talk about with this, like it's overwhelming, but I think at the end of the day, you just have to remember that like, regardless of if the relationship is open or not, most relationships fail. So you could view it as like the prevalence of gay hookup culture makes it harder to find a long-term partner, so open relationships are like the compromise. Or it's like if most relationships fail, then people are trying to get creative to make them not fail.
So this might be controversial, but I really don't give a if you're gonna be in a relationship that's open, I don't judge that at all. Do you? But please, for God's sakes, get the hell off of apps like Tinder and Hinge that are for people looking for connections and actually finding a special someone for themselves, because you already have one. So please don't go on there cruising for when you have Grindr and all these other places that you can do that at. Okay? Thank you. Sincerely, the Single Committee.
Am I really that much? And breaking these niggas down like a demo. You don't really know you.
What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your boy Dante, and I'm back at it again with another video. I don't know what I'm gonna title this video, but I do want to talk about, open relationships, being polyamorous, and also monogamy as well. Now, what made me spark this conversation, you guys, I was on Twitter. Why do gay men openly share their partners sexually? Now, when I first seen that tweet, I was like, damn, that's a good ass question, because I know I'm not the only gay person who's went through this, but just being on gay dating apps and stuff and running into a plethora of couples trying to sleep with you, I was tempted to one time. But mainly what I'm trying to say is that's true. Like, it's very common within the gay community for gay boys to end up in an open relationship. And even though I'm monogamous, I want to be respectful. And we do get on this topic because I know there's a lot of people who try to make you feel bad for you being, a person that's just into poly. And we have to also understand as humans that everybody is not going to live their life like you live yours. So I'm not here to try to preach, to try to make anybody, try to convince anybody to be monogamous, or try to make a person feel bad or nasty for not being monogamous. I just want to have a conversation. I want to have a conversation. Y'all know me. I love sparking conversation. So with that being said, I want y'all to be respectful in the comments, because recently I can't control how everybody feel. Hell, I can't control adults. I can't control nobody. But I don't appreciate how some of y'all get in my comment section being disrespectful to people because they don't have the same opinion as you. Like, it's one thing to debate about certain things, but I feel like when it comes to just being disrespectful and calling a person out of their name, that's when we have an issue. That's when I have to come in and, delete your stuff because you doing a bit too much. So be mindful. Be demure. But yeah, now I'm gonna go through the thread, y'all, because people in the thread, they was really making great points. Now, one person said it's not a matter of willingly doing it for some. I feel this is wrong, but people in the community are forced into open relationships because they are in love with someone who doesn't have monogamous morals or values, and you simply just have to accept that. And I really agree. Now, I'm a victim of somebody who was willing to do that to keep a man. And now that I'm older, that would have been like the dumbest thing to do. But if you personally feel like you're a monogamous person and your partner is poly, and your person that's poly, they're trying to convince you to be in an open relationship, just don't do it. Go ahead and give it up. I don't care how in love you are with that person. Y'all are just, that's never gonna work, because eventually you're gonna get jealous, you're gonna get upset, and then it's just not gonna last. So that's why I feel like people who's into monogamy, you should only date a person that's into that, and poly, you should only date a person that's into that. I did find a couple videos that I want to react to, so let's go ahead and react to them.
I know you may want an open relationship, but bitch, not me. And I get so frustrated because here in Austin, with the gay community, a lot of gay relationships will start 3 months. They're just monogamous, and then all of a sudden they become open. And usually the premise is around one person in the couple wants to expand. They want to expand because maybe it's like a sexual thing. Maybe they believe they should have multiple lovers, whatever they do. The other one came into this relationship thinking it was going to be monogamous the whole time. And so they end up loving this other person so much that they just do what they want, kind of. And so half the time I'm thinking, like, don't literally just break up with me. If we're 3 months in a relationship and you already are suggesting being open, what the fuck does that mean? No, you never mentioned this before. I don't want to be involved in that shit. And so, like, I feel so bad for the gay couples that struggle with that, because now this other person feels obligated to even saying yes to this open relationship thing and whatnot. And I feel like it's such a disservice to the one that actually came into this relationship wanting something monogamous, and then the other one having fleeting ideas about something open. I think it's such a disservice and so fucked up. So if you are one of those people that is suggesting something open when you knew that this was supposed to be monogamous in the first place, maybe, fuck you.
Okay, I agree with him. That's why I feel like communication, it is very important to me, especially in the beginning. I feel like it's very appropriate to ask the right questions in the beginning, because it's been plenty of times where I will be talking to a guy or whatever, and then we're like 2 months in, like I've experienced this, and then they go ahead and try to bring up the conversation of bringing somebody else into the relationship, or us seeing different people. And although that may sound fun, but when it comes to when I'm like in love with a person, I just want you to myself. I don't want you talking to nobody else. I just need you to myself, because I'm a very jealous person when it comes to the person who I'm with. And I'm not afraid to even admit that.
Why do these couples keep hitting me up wanting, like, it's so crazy that these relationships is open like that? And it's no shade, but it's just like, yo, which one of y'all opened up your relationship? Whose idea was it to open up your relationship? Like, it's crazy to me. I done been hit up by 3 couples. Well, the first one, I think he wanted me to himself, but the other two, they wanted to share me. But it's just so weird to me. You know what? I think it's a good thing for people to open a relationship up, because I guess if it came to down to cheating or that's better. You know, y'all have both acknowledged that, you know, somebody not being satisfied or needs is not being met and deadlines is dead. So y'all open the relationship up. Cool. It's you know, everybody's made aware and it's no disrespect. That's cool. But that shit ain't for me. Cause you gotta think about it. Think about the third person that y'all trying to bring into this shit. You have to make sure that if you're that third person, that you don't get attached to what's going on. You know, they already detached and they got their system and shit in the works. But shit, what if you not that kind of person that works like that? Now you wanting more and more, and now you trying to ease your way into their shit, and it just, you know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful with that, being that third person. You got to be on the same shit they on in order for that shit to work. And there's a lot of shit that I ain't on, you know? I'm not. So stop hitting me up with this shit. I'm not interested. No thank you. Y'all is just too much. Y'all greedy. Y'all want y'all boyfriends and husbands, and then y'all want another dude, and then y'all want another one, and then another one, and this is like, well, shit. Y'all got to save something for somebody else. What the fuck? That's greed, ain't it? Is that greed?
So my personal opinion when it comes to, you know, this whole open relationship thing, me personally, and maybe I could be wrong, but just based off my common knowledge, I feel like we're all men at the end of the day. So You know how like infidelity is mainly men, the percentage in men when it comes to infidelity or whatever is very high. And it's like, me personally, I feel like no matter if you're straight, bi, gay, you're still a man. So with that being said, it's still, a lot of men, they just like to have more than one person, and it's okay. That's okay. So I think that's probably one of the main reasons why open relationships is a thing. And a lot of gay men are hypersexual. People don't want to talk about that, but we are very hypersexual in ways. So it's just like, I can kind of see why some men would just rather lean more over to open relationships.
I don't know who needs to hear this, and you could take it however you want, my love. But let me tell you something. There's certain people who are built to be in an open relationship, and some who aren't, and in the long run, they're open to it once that foundation of communication, trust, loyalty is built. Right? Right. But that's not why I'm doing this video. The reason why is because there's a lot of gays who settle for the bare minimum, who are not okay with open relationships, who are not okay with their partner, venturing off into someone else. But they make themselves believe that they're okay with it because they're afraid they can't find something better, someone who can actually meet them halfway and give them what they want. And if you're someone who's strictly monogamous, like me, please do not fucking settle. Like, I'm begging. It's okay to be monogamous still in 2024, I promise. And it still exists. You just gotta make sure you set those boundaries, and those boundaries are not blurred. Especially in the moments when shit gets rough. That's when you really know if your boundaries are really set in place or not. And if you're someone who's in a situation where all you want is someone to love you and you only, and your partner is not really into that, run. Believe who they show you they are the first time. Do not stay with them because you see the potential in them. That's not enough. Life will pass you by and you'll realize 20, 30 years from now that you could have gotten so much more from someone else.
Okay, so we all know how like gay relationships, they don't last no longer than like 3 years sometimes. And I know people gonna be in my comments, well, I'm in a relationship for 15 years. I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying most of us, we don't really last that long. Congratulations to you. We get it. Do you want a cookie? I get it. I'm not trying to be funny, but it's just like, damn. Every time I say that, it's always somebody in the comments trying to correct me. Oh, well, I've been in my relationship for 20 plus years. Like, okay, that's good for you. But it's just like, that's not the reality for a lot of us gay men. So when they open up their relationships, does it make their relationship last?
Do you think open relationships can last in the long term?
It's funny that question comes up because we were just watching the bits and pieces of the Ashley Madison documentary. And I discovered from watching it that there were a lot of open relationships that would use that platform to seek out, extramarital partners. If you're doing that, can that marriage sustain and last long term? And my response to that is yes, as long as there's no secrecy. Listen, a lot of the open relationships are successful and have successful marriages attached because there's no sneaking around. That's not my thing, but if that's what you're into as a couple, and there's no secrets and there's no lying, and you're doing this with full disclosure and you're both in agreement on it, can it work? Yes, it can work. And this comes from the chronicles of like, everybody's situation is different. As long as the two of you know you're going in eyes wide open and you agree, you're fine.
So I went on a date with this guy, and he was your typical kind of jaded gay man within the gay community. His view within the gay relationship has already been tarnished, I think, because of the things he said to me. He pretty much said that monogamy is pretty much a bad word within the gay community right now, and that monogamy is not really a thing. Monogamy is just kind of like the bridge that you start with to when you become open. And I'm like, what? No. It's like every single gay relationship becomes open later on anyways, because it gets boring. And I'm not denying the fact that that's not true, because there are plenty of open relationships within the gay community. I don't know where it clashes. The thing is, this dating pool is smaller and smaller, and then you add in a lot of couples who are acting as if they're singles, inserting themselves into the single dating pool. It's crazy when back then it was just like, hey, I just want to have sex with other people, period. But now it's like, I see so many profiles with open relationships, and It's like they want to date. It's like, I want to get to know you. We're going to go for a coffee or we're going to go for a drinks. I want to know your favorite food. I'm like, dude, you're trying to date another person. And right now, many single gay guys are looking for connection, are looking to make a connection to one person. And if you're a single gay guy, that kind of just makes you feel depressed because it's like, okay, so this is my life. There is truly no one I can be monogamous with. There's truly no one I can connect with on a singular level. It is so exciting. I remember my first ex, or like the ex that I really like was in love with. It is so exciting to get to know that person. It is so exciting to give to that person. It is so exciting to be extended my world and their world to each other. The first time I flew across the country to meet his parents, it was so exciting and to connect and to bond. Now, as all relationship goes, we ended up growing and changing, and our choice to break up at the end is because we wanted to pursue our own paths in life. But maybe the reason why I'm having trouble within the gay community and the dating is because he set the standard so high when it comes to dating that I am in literal hell. I am literal hell right now. And also, whenever I talk about open relationships within my TikTok, and I talked about it before, people who are in open relationships always come in and get so insanely angry in the comments. It baffles me that they, my own personal opinion, someone who is single.
Okay, I'm not gonna watch the whole video, but I got his message and what he was trying to say. And before I leave, I just want to let anybody know who's watching this, who's monogamous. It's people, I promise you, it's a man out there that's monogamous or whatever. Don't get discouraged. And for people that's poly, I'm pretty sure it's people out there that's poly, that's into what you into. Again, I didn't make this video to try to convince you to be monogamous or anything like that, even though I am. I just wanted to, join this conversation because I feel like it was a good conversation to have. But yeah, I'm going to go, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.
Am I really that much to handle? Breaking these niggas down like a hammer. You don't really know you